There is an issue based upon my experience and also on the JL forums that there is a issue with the new Jeep Wranglers with loose steering in the steering system. The best way that I can explain it is I'll attach this video part right here. Basically, there's a dead spot in the steering wheel, approximately 2 to 3 inches. When you let go of the steering wheel, the Jeep does not pull to the left or to the right if there is a even crown in the highway. But as many Jeep owners know, Jeeps are kind of interesting on how they steer. If there is a crown to the left, you have to steer a little bit to the right. Vice versa, if there is a crown to the right, you steer a little bit to the left because of the way the geometry of the Jeep Wranglers is made. The problem with it is, with a dead space in the steering wheel, you're constantly having to correct for whatever type of highway that you're driving on or back roads. It is not so bad if you're under 50 miles an hour, but the minute you get onto the interstate or the minute you increase your speed 60, 70, 75 miles an hour, and especially when getting on the interstate, when you have to pass someone, specifically an 18-wheeler, you've got to go, it gets a little interesting. Is it a safety issue? It's very borderline in my opinion. I believe Chrysler is aware of it, and they're not saying much about it. I'm not going to say they're not doing anything about it. So have I freaked you out yet? Now, there's one person I was watching that was asking about the fuel door who said he had just ordered his. He was very excited. Don't panic. Don't panic yet. But, y'all, we've got an incredible Jeep channel. It's my duty to let you, the viewers, know what I'm experiencing. I've kept it quiet for a little bit because I thought it was kind of just an isolated issue, but it seems to possibly be being more widespread. I believe the reason why it hasn't been brought up to the dealers much is because some people don't realize they have a steering issue. It's a Jeep thing. And to be quite honest with you, after I drove it home the first night, my wife had joked with me and said, "You hate it, don't you?" And I said, "Actually, yeah, I do. Man, the Nissan was just tight on." And, you know, comparing it to the Tahoe, there's definitely something wrong. Now, many of you know I'm part of the Jeep JL forums, jlforum.com. There's tons of incredible information on that particular website, and I'm going to show you here now one of the forum links that I'm a part of for the steering issue that somebody has made, and there's been tons and tons of suggestions, anywhere ranging from the tire pressure. Yes, when I received my Jeep had 47 psi in the tires. It rode really, really rough. Lowered it down to 37. That made a huge difference with the way it rode, but did not take care of the steering issue. Number two, some have said that the Chrysler just came out with a TSP for a computer update for the TSP and all this kind of crap. There is nothing software related that is going to fix a mechanical manufacturing metal-to-metal issue where the tolerances aren't correct or not correctly adjusted. Steering boxes are you got to be the absolute pro to build a steering box and adjust it correctly according to manufacturing specs. Which leads to the next thing. A few people have attempted to do the steering adjustment on top of the steering box. This is a big safety concern. I don't recommend doing this. But some have said this is a possible fix. I did relay this information to the dealer. What they found out is the steering adjustment is locked solid tight. You cannot adjust the Allen head screw adjustment. It's almost virtually impossible. Many have screwed theirs up from doing so. Some have been successful. Now, following everything, what we have found out from this particular thread, and I think there's a couple of other threads, some people have been successful from adjusting their steering box adjusting nut, or not nut, but an adjuster, on top of the steering box by 1/8 of a turn. Some have said that, in fact, there's I think maybe one or two who said the dealer finally ended up replacing their steering box, which was on back order, and there are possibly 2 cases where these people have claimed a successful repair. The problem has been taken care of. Some people have had their steering box replaced, and to no avail, it hasn't fixed anything whatsoever. And then there's a lot of people that are running into a lot of resistance at the dealer, where the dealers are claiming everything is perfectly fine. That's not the case. Now, one interesting note that I noticed today before making this video is one person said that his ball joints, he basically got underneath the Jeep and tightened the upper and lower ball joints on both the left and right wheel, and this made a significant difference, and it took the steering problems away completely. Just out of curiosity's sake, I climbed underneath my Jeep, I got a wrench, and I just wanted to see what were the torque setting, or, get a feel for the nut for one of the ball joints. And what I found is it wasn't tight that much at all. I took one cotter pin out and I basically tightened one of my ball joints, lower ball joints in the driver's side, to what I felt is a much desirable, better torque. But what I also found out is, yes, those nuts are not the tightest. In fact, they're not that tight at all. But after watching my son do the steering wheel like this with the engine off, everything seems to be perfectly tight underneath the Jeep except for the steering box. So don't freak out. Don't panic. I'm in this just like you are as well. I purchased a lifetime warranty with this Jeep because I actually planned on keeping it for as long as I possibly could. We will get through this. Now, do I have an answer right now? Absolutely not. The dealer's been incredible. I'm going to leave it with the service manager. The steering box is on order, but it's on back order, which is kind of a good thing. The ball joints, now I'm going to bring it up to the service manager next week, or maybe this week sometime. I think they need to go around and tighten the rest of them up. But based upon what I can see, what I see is a lot of movement in the steering shaft and very little input from the steering box during the first few inches based upon the driving video. Hang in there, stick with it, click subscribe or like around here, and I promise you we will have an update video for y'all soon.